Michael Scott is one of my all-time favorite television characters. Michael is the goofy, lovable, and bumbling manager of the Dunder Mifflin Scranton branch and is the main character of NBC's hit sitcom, The Office. Michael Scott became one of the most popular characters on a show full of popular characters because of his immaturity, his antics, and his super memorable catchphrases. He always just left you wanting more.
That's what she said!
Now, Steve Carell's portrayal of the character is nothing short of absolutely perfect. If you've watched the show, you'll know that the Michael that we see in Season 1 is very different than the Michael that we see in Seasons 2 through 7. Today, we figured out what changed and why. Welcome to Fluhr Fandom, my name is Tristan, so let's go ahead and get into the video. The first season of the US version of The Office was released on March 24th, 2005. The first season was mainly based off of the UK version of the show of the same name. The first season was 6 episodes long and mainly focused on the possible downsizing of Dunder Mifflin. The episodes include the pilot, Diversity Day, Healthcare, The Alliance, Basketball, and Hot Girl. And while these episodes are great in their own right, they're not necessarily the most favorite out of all the Office episodes for most people. I mean, they're great in their own right and they give us a great introduction into most of the characters, but Michael is just plain unlikable for a lot of these episodes. He appears as rude, sexist, racist, immature, misogynistic, and the list goes on and on about his character flaws in the first season. Nobody can stand his antics throughout the entire season, and the only people that really keep the first season as a watchable season of the show are Dwight, Jim, and Pam. But starting in Season 2 and then onwards, Michael becomes easily the most popular and well-liked character in the entire show, and the show drastically suffers when he leaves in Season 7. Michael becomes the goofy, sweet, lovable, albeit multiple flawed manager that we come to love from Seasons 2 to 7. So what really caused this massive change, I don't think is as much of character development that they wrote in, rather than the directors of the show completely changing the direction of the show. Like I said earlier, Season 1 was mainly based off of the UK version of The Office, where Michael Scott was very much based off of David Brent, even to his hairstyle. David Brent was like Michael from Season 1 on steroids. But being that the Office original version was a British show, and David Brent was a British character, and Brits have very different sense of humor than Americans, the show was a hit, and David Brent was a loved character, although he was, for all intents and purposes, a giant jerk. But then, when the same idea was brought to America, and Steve Carell took on the role of Ricky Gervais's character in the United States, didn't necessarily translate so well to American television. So, in Season 2 of the show, executive producer Greg Daniels possibly made the best decision he could have. He decided to heighten the absurdity of most of the other characters, leaving only Jim and Pam as the two quote-unquote normal people in the entire show left, and that neutralized Michael's absurdity, but also made him more of a lovable character. And through doing all of that, he created a show that Americans fell in love with. With that reworking of his character and the change of the focus of the show, and some brilliant performances by Steve Carell, Michael Scott became one of the most beloved characters in television history from that moment on. It became more and more apparent as the show went further on that Michael was a very, very complex and almost beautiful character. In Season 2, it's shown that he's a lovable host in the Dundies. It's shown that he's great with kids in Halloween. It's shown that he wants to start a family someday by buying his own house in the Office Olympics. He shows that he's a great salesman in The Client, and he's a great consoler to Jim and changes the entire trajectory of Jim's life on the Booze Cruise.
She's engaged.
BFD. Engaged ain't married.
Huh.
Never, ever, ever give up.
Now, I'm not saying Michael isn't a flawed character. In fact, I think if he wasn't a flawed character, I don't think Michael Scott would be as popular of a character at all. His flaws are what make him lovable and are what makes Michael Scott, Michael Scott. It's what makes him the world's best boss. The change in Michael's character from Season 1 to Season 2, I'd argue, is one of the more important changes in all of television, at least in America, in recent memory. And I think all of those changes were absolutely for the better. The changes created a character that we all could find something we liked about. And that is something truly special. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe for new videos every Thursday here on Fluhr Fandom. For our question of the week, what is your favorite episode of The Office? I am going to have to say my favorite is Casino Night, personally. Make sure to answer in the comment section down below. My name is Tristan Fluhr, and for Fluhr Fandom, thanks for watching.